back. Let's just make sure. All right. All right. Y'all can hear me now, right? All right. Yeah, we live. Okay. We back. This time y'all can hear me. I don't know what the hell was going on. It was weird. All right, now we can. Okay, cool. Jesus. All right. That's much better. Now I don't know what the heck was wrong. Y'all, weirdo stuff. Very weird. All right, just 1 minute, guys. I'm making sure. Get that thumbs up, please, for people who y'all. Just make sure y'all can hear me. All right, you guys can hear me? All right, cool, that's better. Hi, guys. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties that I was messing with in the first. So I apologize for that, guys. Anyway, like I said, welcome to another. We already missed 30 minutes because I had to relaunch this nonsense technology. What a drag. Yeah. Again, guys, how's everybody doing? I'm here to answer your questions, hang out for a bit. We're going to chill for a while. But more importantly, just hang out. So first and foremost, like I said before, I'm probably, guys, you probably didn't hear what I was saying. I want to give my condolences to the M.V.K family. For any professional wrestling fans out there, that is Roman Reigns. His father, Sika of the Wild Samoans, passed away. So I give my condolences to him. I wrote something very nice for him on his Twitter account. It's always hard to lose a family member. So yeah, my condolences to the family. Indeed, if you're a professional wrestling fan, but if you're not, it's still, doesn't matter. But as always, what's good, guys? What a week, right? What a week. A lot of things have come out and have been announced. A lot of gaming trailers. I mean, that Metroid Prime 4 looked good. We're getting a new Gears of War. Nosferatu trailer dropped. And more great images from Superman. And seeing Mr. Terrific just made me very happy to see it. Oh my God. Please do right by him, Mr. Gunn. With that being said, it is June 25th, 2024. It is now technically 10:11 p.m. here on the East Coast, here in New York. But as always, guys, I'm here to give you your time, give you your time and effort to post what you want to post at, what questions you want to ask me. I'm looking forward to it. So let's see who in the pack is running with your alpha tonight. So let's check it out. Shall we go? We have quite a few in here. Well, about 4 right now. We'll see. All right. So okay, Galactus person. We have Quentin, we have Marion, Caroline Perry, and usually the usual suspects are up in here. And Comic Guy. Hey, Comic Guy. I did your Patreon. I hope you enjoyed that. Create a Justice League with a twist. That has been getting a lot of comments on there. So I appreciate that, my man. I'm looking forward, because I think now you might have found your niche with, when you give me, Patreon requests and stuff like that. So I do appreciate that very much. So let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. All right. Everybody seems good. Let's see. If you, all right. Wait, am I seeing the right questions or not? All right. Here's the first one, I think. What would, not what will, Quentin, what would All Might think of Captain Marvel and Black Adam? Same thing he would think of Deku for Billy, and the same thing he would think of Adam. He wouldn't like Adam too much at all. So yeah, don't call him that S name. That's not his name. His name is Captain Marvel. Get it right. Don't be calling him by that. I refuse to call him. That's the wizard's name. That's the wizard's name, not his. Let's see. Rest in peace, Sika. Yeah, I just talked about that. Do you think? What do you think of Donkey Kong Country? You're talking about the old one. I played it a couple of times, but remember, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, so I was a Sega loyalist, and so every Sega console that came out, I got. I stuck with Sega till they became a third-party company. Most of the Nintendo stuff, so the 64, GameCube, Wii, and no Wii U. So yeah, But I played Donkey Kong Country. It was fun. It was okay. Hey Chris, have I seen Ultraman Rising? No, I have not. It's on my list to watch. I do need to see that. Nice Spider-Man beanie. I don't know if it's a Spider-Man beanie. It just has like the Spider-Man scheme, and so it looked cool because actually, as you can see, it goes with my Spider-Man shirt. I got this from Awesome Con in Washington D.C. So so it just works. Let's see. You excited for Deadpool and Wolverine? I'm pretty looking forward to it. How much crazy adventures they're gonna go on. So yeah. Seeing all the scenes from the upcoming Superman are intriguing. It looks promising. I am looking forward to it. Seeing Eddie Gathagi, I hope I'm saying his last name right, as Mr. Terrific, who, mind you, is one of my favorite DC heroes of all time. It made me very proud because, again, I just had this conversation on Thread where, somebody had posted the Mr. Terrific from Arrow, and I'm like, not Mr. Terrific. And I didn't mean that. I meant what I said. I was like, not Mr. Terrific. That was not Mr. Terrific. That was a farce of a character of Mr. Terrific. I mean, it's like, and I went down a list of things that made it true. Wasn't called Michael Holt. Wasn't the smartest person in the room. Didn't have this. Didn't have that. He was a watered down version. So now I basically say, look, there has not been a true live action portrayal of Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific. The only one I acknowledge is a short film here on YouTube by a friend of mine who actually directed it. And it's Mr. Terrific versus the Riddler. And in that, and the channel where you can go watch it is called Blinky 500. Go check out his stuff. He just put up a new short involving Magneto. So it's really cool. Go check it out. But yeah, I am intrigued. But yes. The Superman photos were great, but I want to be excited, but they also just said, are you sad because are you sad because of the movie, or are you sad because a certain movie didn't come out? That's what it seems that you're sad, but that has nothing to do with that movie. And a little bit of it, Caroline, is I think you need to put that aside because that they had nothing to do with that. You want to blame someone else, then blame the former regime that canceled that movie. Okay? James Gunn had nothing to do with that. And more importantly, look, say what you want, but the fact of the matter is, it died. It's gone. I'm sorry, but holding that against any other DC project is not healthy. I'm telling you right now, because that has nothing to do with it. Hey, Gunn had nothing to do with it. And who knows? We probably will see Batgirl again. I'm holding to it. And maybe it will be a more promising and more just as promising. To me, I was still very confused with that movie in general, even from the stills they showed. I still didn't understand it. I was like, okay, where's this taking place? My biggest question was like, where was this taking place? Because you had Michael Keaton Batman in there. I'm like, okay, what universe is this from? I always had questions about that movie. Was it sad that it got canceled and put in the vault? Yes. But I'm not gonna hold a grudge against James Gunn and Warner Brothers because he had nothing to do with it. None. It's not healthy. It's really not healthy. Hey Chris, what's up, comic guy? Like I said, will there be exclusive stuff on your Patreon? Yes. To answer that question, yes, there will be some very exclusive stuff. There will be some stuff for free members who just sign up. There will be, and then there will be, like, one of the things I am thinking about doing over there is doing watch-alongs, doing first-time reactions for animes. Like right now, I'm thinking about, because there are a lot of people think I know every anime, but I don't. There are some animes I've never seen before, and I'm thinking about watching animes I've never seen before on the channel for people. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of exclusive stuff over there. They're coming soon. Be patient. What were your thoughts on Metro 4 and the villains, Silas, that they're building up to him in the past few Metro? Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was really cool. I even enjoyed this new take on Perfect Dark. I'm a little still questioning now. I'm like, but I like that they're trying something new with Joanna Dark. Last Perfect Dark was years ago. So, and I still love that original one from the N64. I mean, my brother and I used to play that with our cousins all the time. You look adorable in your beanie hat. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Effie? Effie, I hope I'm saying your name right. Quentin, if Luke Cage asked Baki to join the Defenders, what would Baki say to him? I'd want Baki to join. He's no hero. That's not what he's about. Baki ain't about that. Is Art the Clown immortal? Is it immortal, Dan? I don't know. I don't know. I'm so thrilled to finally see a trailer for Metroid Prime 4. It's been 7 years since the teaser. It has. It really has been that long. I'm looking forward to the Gears of War. It's going to be a game that focuses on day one of the war. So with Marcus and Dom, so that's going to be cool. Have you been watching my Adventures of Superman? Yes, I have. I will be, once Superman is over, once the series season 2 is over, I will put up an overview of it. I was thinking about doing a episode by episode, but I'm not. I'm just gonna do a overview of the season when it's over. I like what I'm seeing. They just did the episode with Brainiac, and what he made Kara do just messed up. They always do that. That's messed up. Like, she always becomes somebody's tool. I even like the new kind of powers to Clark in this. This is actually interesting as well. Superman, My Adventures with Superman. What else I'm glad is it got renewed for a season 3, so that's good to know. It's a fun show. It's just a different twist to Superman, with some twists and more of an anime style, and I'm fine with that. I still to this day probably say it's probably the most badass looking Jor-El I ever seen. And my Superman, Jor-El looks like Odin. I was like, it's Jor-El? He looks like Odin. It's kind of cool. Can Batman solve the Pinhead case? I don't know. I remember the console wars in the 90s with Nintendo versus Sega. I had both a Sega and a Super Nintendo. I think console wars are silly because we are supposed to have fun with them. Competition is good for business, Eliza. If one is doing better, that's going to put the other side to do better. So it's it's bigger. It's not dumb in a sense for business. It actually works. And you can look at that from a lot of standpoints. You look at when, let's take professional wrestling, for example. We'll take the Monday Night Wars from the 90s. WCW, WWF, or WWE now. WWF was getting their asses handed to them, and then all of a sudden they started pushing it in terms of the Attitude Era, and WCW, because at one point WWE Raw was taped, so so it was taped at the time, and WCW Nitro was live, and so they would kind of spoil what was going to happen on the other programming. And over time, prior, because Eric Bischoff, they told Eric Bischoff, the head of WCW, said, tell them that this is going to happen. And then what happened? They said, oh yeah, you want to know who's going to win their championship? Mick Foley. People turned, and after that, boom, skyrocketed. WWE started going higher while WCW started to. At one point they were, I would say, neck and neck, and then they just took off and never looked back. And that's kind of the same thing that's happening with the new regime in WWE now. You're starting to see that kind of sway with WWE and AEW now. It's like AEW used to be that new toy that everybody was loving. It was the alternative, but now, since programming on WWE is just starting to pick up so much and doing so freaking well, it's now like they gotta step their game up. Competition is good for business. You look at the whole concept with Marvel and DC. It's all there. Now, yeah, it can get stupid from time to time. Don't get me wrong, it can. And I don't look at anybody who take competition too extreme, like hurting people or something like that. But it can be good for business. How do you think? This is from Marlon McDaniel. How do you think Batman's character would have changed if he was never ever to recover from getting his back broken by Bane? Honestly, look, never had my back broken, but I have been told that it never heals. If you break it in a certain spot, it will never heal properly. You'll always have nagging pains, aches, things like that. That's how Batman would be like. He would have nagging pains. The only thing I can think of is he would use his Wayne tech to find a means of dealing with the pain. And I'm not just talking like painkillers or something like that, but he would find some way of dealing with it. Just like when they did the New 52 Batgirl, they kind of explained how she was able to walk again. After they basically said that killing joke happened, she got shot, and then she was walking again. It was all in Gail Simone's run, good stuff. But if it did happen, yeah, it would hurt him. But I think he would, knowing Batman, he'll find a way to move on, like probably use a exoskeletal suit or something. Thoughts on Batman Caped Crusader? When I saw, and for a guy who does not like Catwoman very much, but when I saw who's going to be voicing her, I was like, hey, Christina Ricci, come on, man. I mean, who doesn't know Christina Ricci? She's going to be voicing Catwoman in this. You got former Batman voicing Two-Face, forgetting his name. And then you got Jamie Chung. They changed to Harley Quinn a little bit. But I like this vibe of like, it's going to be more like a noir. It's like 1920s, 30s vibe. And I like that. But I'm cool with it. Very cool. Can Dr. Fate, Kent Nelson beat Pennywise? Naboo probably most likely could. He would find a way. Who's more smarter? Mr. Terrific or Wheeljack from Transformers? Mr. T. Wheeljack is more of a mechanic than like, he's more of the one that builds everything, but I would say Mr. Terrific would give Wheeljack a run for his money. Thoughts on the Nosferatu trailer? I liked it. It was pretty cool. Thoughts on R2-D2 now being that? Don't buy into that, please. That was just said out of context. No, it's not true. That is not true. And they just need to stop doing that. That's not funny. Why change something that was never said? So we're that is the dumbest thing. It's dumb because now we're giving droids. That's dumb. That's dumb. That's just dumb. Don't buy into that. It was comments made by the Acolyte creator, and she just put her foot in her mouth with that one. That wasn't even funny. Don't buy into that. I haven't even watched Acolytes, and I probably won't watch it until the series is over. Most of these shows, I'll just watch. I wait till the show's over. The only show I watched that I did on Disney Plus that I watched was the '97. That's just me. I finally watched Blue Beetle recently. I have Blue Beetle. I got in my Blu-ray. I liked it. What is your favorite episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy? Probably when the Kanker sisters debuted. I like that one. Can Mr. Miracle beat the World Breaker Hulk? No. Hell no. Hell no. Mr. Miracle ain't shit compared to World Breaker Hulk. Are you out of your mind? You out of your mind with that? He ain't, What is the Secret Six? What is the Secret Six from DC? Secret Six was a series that was written by Gail Simone, my friend. And I mean that. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass when I say that. She legit is my friend. And she wrote the series. It's kind of like it had Bane, Scandal Savage, Ragdoll, and a few other characters, and basically they were trying to redeem themselves in a sense. Gail gave Bane such more character development. The character, like he just wasn't. It wasn't just about I'm the man that broke the bat. No, it was you saw more depth in the character. Gail did such a great job with that series. This was also at a time where Bane got off the venom. He stopped taking it. Like, he didn't have the tubes in him. He took them out. And by the end of it, yeah, he gave all his members venom, and they tried to take out the Justice League, and they failed. But it was a great run. It was a great series. I do recommend it. If you never read it, Secret Six, go read it. What was your reaction to the Montreal screw job when it went down? What I remember about it, I didn't know what was really going on. I didn't know what was being blurred between the lines. All I remember is Brett spitting on him, spitting on the dick. And that was it. And then when I watched the documentary a little bit, just seeing Brett's wife at that time grilling a lot of people in the back, telling like, who knew about this? Did y'all know? And Triple H was among them, and he's like, I swear to God, I did not know. Yes, he did. He knew, because he's the one that convinced Vince to do it. If he didn't want to play ball, then it was. But enough about the Montreal Screwjob. It's something I don't want to bring up. I love Bret Hart. That was my favorite wrestler. Still is, and and I just felt bad for him because when Brett went to WCW, they did precisely dick with him. Bischoff didn't know how to book him. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was horrible to watch Brett over in WCW. Horrible. If Luke Cage met Jackson Bridge, that'd be interesting. I definitely think they get along, but I think Jack would be probably a little jealous because this guy is basically unbreakable. You ain't got that. He's super strong, this and that, blah blah. He's in a sense, it's like without your arms, Jax. Quentin, have you read Kyle? Have you heard Kyle might become a White Lantern again? No, I have not. If Kyle's gonna turn back to being a White Lantern, that's cool. I have not. Most of my DC books I read in trade, so I wait till the trades come out. I have not read the Green Lantern books, any of them, but I definitely want to read them, especially War Journal, because that's dealing with John Stewart, and he retired, but he kept the ring, and his mother's got Alzheimer's, and she was trying to remember. She one time was trying to think of. She was remembering her daughter, John's sister, and John is telling her. This is what I heard. John was telling her that she passed away, but she didn't believe it. So he made a construct of his sister, so she could. I was like, damn. So I definitely want to read that. But that'd be cool. Favorite Batgirl comic? Like I said, probably Gail Simone's run. Yeah. What voice do you hear in Black Widow comics? Well, it's not Scarlet, if that's what you want to know. It is not Scarlett Johansson. No offense, but it's not her. Not at all. It is not Scarlett. If I'm reading Black Widow, which I have, it's a Black Widow comic right here. This is the entire run of Kelly Thompson's Black Widow comic from 2020. I bought this last week because I never got to finish reading it. So when I do read Black Widow, as you can see, that's the cover. This is like crazy because they basically erased her memory, and she kind of has a normal life. She's like a mother and things like that. She's got kids. Anyway, don't hear Scarlett. I don't hear the actress who voiced her in the show. I do hear a Russian accent. That's what I hear. I do not hear. I hear her with a Russian accent. I don't hear her with a. She can play, but I always hear a Russian accent. It's just in my head. I hear it. Let's see. Where are we? Guys, I'm looking at my phone because I'm not looking at the screen over here. I'm just making sure it's still. There's a screen to my right, to my left, your right, whichever way you're looking, and I'm just making sure it's still recording. Everything is still recording. My camera's right here, so that's why. But I'm looking at from my phone just to see everything. And people that are coming back in, thank you for coming back in. Yes, comic guy, don't as he said, don't forget to hit the like, guys. I appreciate that. Well, my back. Let's keep going. Where are we at? So last thing I was talking about. Yes, somebody asked me Quentin asked me, like I said, what do I hear when I read Black Widow comics? I don't hear Scarlet. I don't hear a lot of. I hear just a random Russian voice, very sultry voice, but I hear Russian. I hear it. Marion asks again, what was the most painful looking thing you've ever seen happen to one of the Eds? Can't remember. I mean, there's been some stuff that like golden balls dropped on their head or something like that. It's crazy. Giant jawbreakers dropped on them. It was funny as shit. Caroline asks, thoughts on the character? I said, Alisa Yun, she's Barbara's trans friend. I had no problem with her. It's fine. The way it was written, until she announced what she was, it was fine, and I still don't have no problem with it. You know, especially if a character is done right and not done to make a statement that isn't really needed. It's fine. I got no problem. It's like if somebody asked me, "Hey, how do you feel about North Star being gay?" He was gay the day he was created. He's one of the first gay characters to come out. He's been gay ever since. I got no problem with it. Yeah, Star Wars fandom is fluctuating. Yeah, Star Wars fandom is toxic. That's what it is. It's toxic. And there are times it shames me to be a Star Wars fan. Just how toxic they can be. Like I said before, when these new shows come out and the producers and everybody got to tell the characters, the actors of color, hey, listen, I know you may be excited about this, and I know, but just know your social media is going to probably blow up with a lot of vile crap. That shouldn't be the case. But yeah, Star Wars fans are just, wow. Now you're starting to see Star Trek fans, Trekkies, welcoming. They're more welcoming. They're like, yeah, no problem. We just saw the end of the latest Star Trek show, and they were very welcoming to that. It's a total difference. At one point, they were like, dude, them Trekkies, trust me, I've seen them. They can get crazy, but they mellowed out. Star Wars fans, get it. I heard Acolyte is boring and poorly written. I haven't heard a lot. What I've heard is more of people nitpicking or trying to nitpick, but never really giving a true. Basically, I hear a bunch of bull from a lot of people who watch. The only person I actually asked did he like it was my friend Mr. Multiverse. I was like, I talked to him a couple of days ago. I was like, hey, you're watching Acolytes, how do you like it? And he's like, it's all right. There's parts of it I don't like. And he gave a very, very understanding reason for why. But a lot of people, they just like, it's stupid, it's like, but the whole concept, from what I understand, is this show is looking, the perspective of it is looking from the villain's point of view and not the hero's point of view. So I'm like, what is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know, it's just weird. But shouts out to, I'm forgetting the actor who learned English just to play in this. He learned it. He was from Squid Games. He learned that. He learned English just to be a part of it. That's dedication. Respect. Yeah, see, it's like you're just hearing from just people who just want to bitch over a thing. Also, Zebwell leaving Spider-Man. I'm going to do a more detailed video on that. I think that's my next opinion spot, actually. But what I'll say here is, look, I met Zeb Wells. Me and Multi, we met him at MegaCon 2022. We met him 2 years ago. Great guy. And a couple of funny pictures of me and him. We were both dressed up as Spider-Man, and you got Multi dressed up as Scarlet Spider, and he's choking him, and he said, hey, why don't you choke me? It was the funniest thing. He said do that. But again, whoever takes up the reins of Amazing Spider-Man, here's what I'll say. Editorial is gonna fuck you over big time. creative is going to be sucky because editorial is going to always be harboring over you like, oh no, you can't do that. That's the real enemy of the Amazing Spider-Man series right now. Story, because countless times I've heard past writers say they wanted to do this, and editorial was like, no, you can't do that. Why? You can't. Stupid. But I'll give a more in depth to that. I prefer the classic EU to the new Star Wars content. I wish it got adapted. I talked about this before about when Lucas sold it to Disney. I think Lucas and team and everybody should have expressed a little more of what they wanted. And to me, the extended universe was a perfect way. That should have been in contract. Like, the extended universe has to be a part of this. Like, how much of a hard on. I'm sorry, but how much of a hard on geek out a moment I would have seen to see Mara Jade live action. Now, I'm not saying they can't do it now, but it's not the same because she wouldn't be Luke Skywalker's wife. She would just be a character. And the whole concept of that she is Luke's wife and still kind of towing that line between good and bad, that was always great to me. So I get it. And I feel like that should have been put in the contract. Travis, Bo Dallas's promo, yeah, man, that hit hard. That almost made me cry. Because Bo Dallas, everybody knows that is Bray Wyatt's real brother, and him, the way he was talking, and the way he was like, yeah, I miss my brother. We were supposed to do this together. You, my best friend. I'm like, don't make me cry. But it was getting there. Now, having said that, I hope they continue this trend with the Wyatt 6 right now. Like, I'm hoping every character gets something like that. That would be great. A podcaster that I watched, Solomonster, brought that up, and I was like, that would be perfect. Each one of them gets that kind of spotlight on them. Nikki Cross gets that, and like, why is she doing this? I would love to see that. That'd be great. So yeah, but that promo hit deep, and it makes me wonder, like how much he seemed to must have been okay of doing it, but still, he was legit. He was keeping it real. Why did Luke Cage beat up Purple Man? What? Wait, what? Why did Luke Cage beat up Purple Man? Quentin, you know what Purple Man did to his wife? Have you not read any of the Alias books or anything like that? Well, let me tell you. If you haven't, because you seem to be asking this question, let me tell you why. Well, simple. If you all remember, Jessica Jones, when she first started out, she started out as this hero called Jewel. And when Jebediah Kilgrave gets to her, he uses his powers and controls her for years. Then he brought her back as a character, another different character. So he basically mind raped her, and even supposedly raped her too. He did everything he wanted to her. So when she broke free of him, and of course she had the one night stand with Luke Cage, they ended up having a child together. And later on, they became a couple. And then later on, they became Avengers. And later on, Jessica gave birth to baby Danielle. And later on, this happened. And later on, Luke Cage now is the mayor of New York City. Before that, during the breakout, where all the heroes of all the villains that were on the raft, which is a prison for characters like Spider-Man, Luke Cage, and Daredevil, and a few other, Captain America, and a few other. This is after Avengers Disassembled. They joined together, and when Luke Cage saw Kilgrave, he tried to use his powers to control Luke, and Luke wasn't having. He beat the shit out of him again. And it's not the first time. Luke, anytime Kilgrave and Luke is beating the hell out of him. Favorite Looney Tunes episode? That's hard, JP, because I like a lot of Looney Tunes episodes, but I can give you one, definitely. I can't remember the name of it. I might have to look it up. One of the shorts, I should say. Okay, here it is. 1958. 1958. Robin Hood Daffy. You all know Daffy Duck is one of my favorite Looney Tunes. This is when Daffy was Robin Hood. It's the funniest stuff. It's the funniest shit. Anytime they put Daffy Duck and Porky Pig together, they're like any comic duo you can think of. Laurel and Harley, this and that. They're just so funny together. And in this, he's Robin Hood, and Porky Pig is, I guess, supposed to be Friar Tuck. He wants to join up with Robin Hood's gang, and he's trying to tell him, "I am Robin Hood," and so he has to kind of try to prove it, and then it just goes funny. It's the funniest shit. It cracks me up every time. There was one scene where he was trying to steal gold from a peasant to give to the poor, and he's just going, "Yikes!" And the way he kept going down, he kept trying to swing from the trees, and he kept hitting every tree. And every time you just hear, "Yikes, stand away!" Boom. Stand away. He just kept he was just getting knocked out. And it was so funny. And then at the end, basically, Porky was like, "Look, I'm sorry, but you're just not Robin Hood." And he's like, "No matter what, I'll join you. Forget about joining. I'll join you. Shake hands with Friar Duck." So it's the funniest shit. That's one of my favorite episodes. Another short, because that's what you call them. You call them shorts. Another Looney Tunes short that I love is Bugs. He missed that turn at Albuquerque as always, and he ended up, I guess, in Dracula's castle. And Dracula, is like, "Yeah, you come in and have sleep. Yes, sleep is good for the blood." And every time he kept looking at, "You sleep yet?" And so then he was just like, and so Bugs, being kind of dumbfounded, didn't know he was a vampire, and he's just like, so he started reading the magic word book of hocus pocus, abracadabra, and all of a sudden Dracula comes back, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a vampire." And so Bugs is like, "Oh yeah, abracadabra, I'm an umpire." And so then he says, Dracula says, "Hocus pocus, I'm a bat." And so Bugs is like, "Oh yeah, abracadabra, I'm a bat too," and started hitting him with it. It's the funniest shit. So there's so many. I love watching the classic stuff. I love classics. I love those. No matter how many times I have watched Bugs Bunny and the Flintstones and Jetsons, so those episodes, like Scooby-Doo, I can't tell you how many. I pretty much watch almost, not every Scooby-Doo, but especially the classic stuff. I've watched all the classic stuff. That's what's cool about that Me TV Toon, that 24-hour Toon series, Toon channel, which I want to check out. I hope it comes to because I don't have cable anymore. I have YouTube TV, so I'm hoping it comes. I don't watch TV as much as I used to, so yeah. But yeah, I hope it comes back. But I love the classics. You can't beat them. You can't beat them. Sting got a similar treatment in WWE when he finally jumped ship. I wouldn't say he got a bad, because first of all he got injured, hurt, and that was his career was over. His career was over after that. I wouldn't say it was bad because he got title match, he got a championship match. But the problem with Sting's run in WWE is the fact that they kept trying to build him off of this is WWF versus WWE. That shit was over years ago, 20 years. It's like, why are you still making it about that? To me, he should have won at WrestleMania. Triple H should have put him over and that made no sense. Even the overbooking, it made no sense. I didn't understand why the NWO would be trying to help Sting. It was like, what the hell? Can anti-monitor? Is that anti-monitor? Monitor? Are you talking about anti-monitor? Beat Galactus. Galactus. G-A-L. Don't know. Galactus is like nature itself, but I'd say 50-50. What was the worst satisfying beatdown you've seen in an anime? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Should Gail Simone be the new writer for Spider-Man? If she came out and said, I'm the new writer for Spider-Man, I'll blow a gasket. I'm already happy that she's going to be writing Uncanny X-Men. So, yeah. But if she came out and said, because she's written Spider-Man, but never in his own book. When she was writing the Domino series, she had Spider-Man guest star in it, so she got to write them. But Gail has always said she wants to write Spider-Man. She always wanted to write him. So. I love Star Wars, and the best way to be a fan is still avoid the fandom. Same thing with Marvel and DC fandom. Sometimes you gotta avoid it. Star Wars fandom never happy. They never seem to be happy. It's ridiculous. Are you still doing the Versus opinion spot? No. Opinion spot is not just Versus. So no. And the Versus stuff has its own channel. So if you were looking forward to that, which will be coming back in August. Can Purple Man try to mind control Jack Hama? It's not about probably could try. Probably wouldn't work. What voice do you hear in the Vader comics? I don't read them, but when I did read the Star Wars comics, who do you think I hear? I don't hear nobody but James Earl Jones. What if the Terminator was sent back to kill Tony Stark? Tony would win. He would probably even capture the T-800 and pretty much reprogram him. You're gonna come at Terminator coming at a futurist is ridiculous. That's stupid. Are we get a continuation of Spider-Man? I hope so too. Could Akuma resist Purple Man's mind control? Kill him. Just because he's pissing him off. You heard about the Looney Tunes movie, the day the day the Earth blew up, with Porky Pig in them. And Priscilla Pig, I haven't seen her. Yeah, I heard about it. What happened if Trigon was real? I don't want to think about stuff like that because he's a demon. And newsflash, demons are real. Just saying. Thoughts on Go Go Loser Rangers? I have never watched it, so I can't give you a. He should have beaten the game. Yeah, I said that's what I just said. The NWO helping is like the Joker helping. Yeah, that was dumb. It made no sense. To me, it was just, let's get NWO and DX on the screen. It just didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense. Comic Guy, have you seen the new Bad Boys? No, I have not. I want to see it, and please don't spoil it for me. I hear something really crazy happens at the end with a certain character, so please don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Indeed, don't spoil it. Would Akuma hate all Lantern Corps? Akuma is about true power. That's why I always tell people he's not necessarily a villain. Villain. He's not. To most people, the overarching villain of Street Fighter is Bison. And he is about strength. So I can't say he wouldn't. Where was that? Comic Guy asks his favorite sci-fi shows from the Sci-Fi Channel. Ooh, I love the Sci-Fi Channel original shows from back in the day. They kind of don't do them anymore. I mean, I think Resident Alien is the only one that's on, and I don't watch that. I don't know. I just haven't really cared to watch it. So, in no particular order, I was a huge fan of Warehouse 13. I love that show. That was great. That show was so much fun. I love that. I love Eureka. That was another fun one. Defiance was great. I enjoyed that. That's 3. Yeah, those are 3 that I really enjoyed. I like those a lot. I still try to watch those when I can. Are you excited for Smile 2? I don't know, because I haven't really seen the first one. I haven't. I'm sorry. So I can't really say. Are you ready for Maxine? Yes, I am. I am looking forward to that. Let's see, what's next? Caroline, if you believe in demons, then you surely believe. Of course I do. Will Mr. Krabs join the Orange Lantern? Yeah, Mr. Krabs would definitely be an Orange Lantern if he got a ring. Greedy. I don't know, maybe. I mean, he does care about, but he is greedy. Greed. Did you watch King of the Hill? You're talking about the cartoon. I watched a few episodes, but I wasn't really into it as much as I liked him when he was on Beavis and Butthead. Once a lot of the characters got their own spin-offs from Beavis and Butthead, I kind of didn't care. Like, I didn't care for Daria's show. I didn't care for that. But The King of the Hill, I watched it. I gave it a chance, and I was like, oh, it's all right. JPX, what shows in Cartoon Networks? What shows in Cartoon Network were underrated? How much time you got? It was a lot. You know, I still wish they'd let Symbiotic Titan finish. And don't give me that excuse. Oh, it's because of the episode with the girl twerking and no, come on, stop. That show was great. Anything Jendi Tarkovsky, I'll watch anything he wants. I was a big fan of Whatever Happened to Robot Jones. That got canceled. A lot of the older stuff, like Johnny Bravo. I like the older episodes of Johnny Bravo. When they came with the newer stuff, I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't even a big fan of Dexter with the newer episodes. It's when they changed the art style, just didn't work for me. Let's see what else we got. Comic Guy, thoughts on the Blade movie troubles? Yeah. I knew somebody would finally was going to bring this up. Look, it is utterly ridiculous of the struggles that this character is going through just to be adapted. I don't know why and why they haven't started. If it's not one thing you're hearing, it's this. Oh, the screenplay sucked. They had to rewrite, another rewrite. It's director leave. Now, just recently, I think Delroy Leno, who was going to be in the movie, he left. And I still feel like he was going to be Blade's real mentor, Jamal. So, that sucks. And people asking, well, I know this thing is cursed. I do agree with that. Yeah, the movie's cursed. But I don't understand, why is they making it seem so hard to make this? Because Blade is just a simple character to a degree. It's simple. It is very simple. Half vampire. War on the vampires. Take it from there. But if it's about, how much edgy are we going to get? They're doing the Wolverine and Daredevil. And Wolverine and Deadpool Wolverine, and that's rated R. So you telling me that you can't stop? It's ridiculous. They're not going to quit it because the egos. But if we finally hear, and I hate to say it, but once I hear Mahershala Ali basically has exited, yeah, it's done. Tom Anderson is not Hank. Just FYI. Huh? Stupid Marvel storyline that you hate besides One Day More. Civil War. There you go. I do buy the theory he is Hank's half brother. Oh, okay. Like I said, I only watched a little bit. I watched everything. Could Alien versus X-Men work? Yeah, it could, but I guarantee you the reason why they didn't go that with Alien versus X-Men is because X-Men have already kind of dealt with a alien type, xenomorph type characters. The Brood, that's all the Brood is. It's just Marvel's equivalent to the xenomorphs. That would be cool to see the xenomorphs and the Brood go at it. Aliens like, you wannabes and that. Some more Dr. Fate questions. Can Dr. Fate, Ken Nielsen beat Dr. Strange? They never fought, and I don't think there would be a reason for them to fight. I just don't see it. Can the Ventitor take on the Voldemites? Probably could. Sue could, and a couple of them, and Johnny could too. The Voldemites are weak against extreme heat. Like, yeah, they Voldemites are not that powerful. You gotta understand, like, what you're seeing on Invincible, the animated series, is one thing, but they're strong, but they're not that strong. You can kill them. And you talking about that Fantastic Four, Sue being the most powerful of them. She could put air bubbles in their head just like that and kill them all if she wanted to. And Johnny, like I said, he could just go supernova on one of them and they'll die. I see Thing going toe to toe with a couple of them, but you got brains with Reed. Reed would discover their weaknesses real quick. Quinn asks, do you think Sam Raimi is a good director? Would be a good director for Berserker movie or Witchblade movie? What do you think? You mean Berserk, not Berserker? You talking about Datsu? Berserk, not Berserker. No, I don't. No, somebody else should be it, because I don't even know if Sam Raimi even knows about those characters. I hate Blade Trinity, of course. Have you heard about the Spawn movie is back a go when it comes out next year? Yeah, I heard that. I heard it. Yeah, the Jamie Foxx, Spawn movie. You know how long that movie has been in developmental hell? Whatever. Sorry guys, I'm gonna be eating something. I'm kind of need a snack. So if you see me scarfing on something, I apologize. So let's see. Honestly, finished movie should never be concealed. Just saying. That kind of stuff goes back before many of us were even born. It's not the first time movies have not been brought. So yeah. Rambo, Alien versus Guardians of the Galaxy would be cool. Yeah, I thought about that too. I thought about that too. And being that Predator, we're getting a Predator versus Black Panther miniseries next. It makes me wonder, what is Ben Percy up to? Because this is the second time he did the Predator versus Wolverine comic, which was great. And now the Predator's going to get into Wakanda because they want vibranium. Could you imagine Yautja with vibranium armor? Whew. What are my thoughts on AI being used for covers? DC got caught using AI, and IDW now has released Turtles cover that uses AI for Jenica trade. I'm not for it entirely, but I sometimes it's nice, but it's 50-50 with me, or not even 50-50, like 75-25. I'm like 75% against it because it takes away from the artist, the real artist. Right? Favorite episode of Young Justice? That's even harder because I didn't really have an episode of Young Justice I hated. So I can't really say it. We got Crossidus versus Conquest. Who do you think would win? May give it to Conquest, maybe, because he is one of the strongest. I kind of glad that Flash bombed. I don't give two shits about that movie. First of all, I am not a fan of Edward Miller as that character. Thank you. I felt bad for Michael Keaton being in it, but hey. Do you think they should do a Adam Warlock MCU movie? More than likely, Adam Warlock will be on the new Guardians, because that's where he was when the last one came out. We saw him with Rocket's team. So yeah. Luke Cage. A lot of Luke Cage questions tonight. I'm complaining, but I noticed that. If Luke Cage met Muscle Man and Skips, do you think you'll be good? They'll be good friends? I don't know, because it'd be kind of weird. I mean, Luke, look at a Yeti, talking Yeti, like what the hell? Predator versus Blade. Yeah, but it's got to make sense though, because what Ben Percy is doing is these crossovers are building up to something. With Wolverine, the overarching story of that was Predator hunting something that he can't really kill or beat. And we saw it throughout the different eras of Wolverine's life. He would just keep coming. This Wolverine, this Predator, this Yautja got desperate, so desperate that he attacked the mansion, and he paid the price for it too. So yeah, there were some things about, you're just like, man, he can't. And even at the end of it, he still couldn't be, because it was like, you know what the Yautja gonna do? They're sore losers. They can't accept defeat. So yeah, it'd be interesting to do Blade, but I'm loving what Ben Percy is doing. He already knows what the next one he wants to do. So yeah. What voice do you hear when Bane is in a comic? I don't know. I don't really hear a voice with Bane. If I did, it's sure ain't Tom Hardy, because Bane is Latino. People seem to forget that. So if I do hear, it has more of a Latin voice to it. I just answered that question, Travis. I have not seen it yet. I do. If you got scammed by the ads, I don't know what I'd do. Probably put one in the mouth. Let's see, where am I? Gladiator versus Conquest. Who was the last man standing? That'd be different too, because once again, Gladiator is strong, but if his confidence level is not as high, he starts to weaken. So could you imagine him throwing blows at Conquest, and Conquest keeps coming back? He starts doubting himself. See, that's how that's just how Sue was able to hold him back because of that. People don't know that about Gladiator. That's what happens when you are very knowledgeable of these characters. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Predator versus Captain America or Predator versus Spider-Man. I don't know. Whatever Ben Percy's doing next, it's built into the Marvel Universe versus Yautja. I swear it's built into that. Are you gonna watch Kinnikuman? I love the Ultimate Muscle, and I saw the images of this. I'm looking forward to it. Any further thoughts on the photo sets of Superman photo? Yeah, I like what I saw. I'm good. I'll do a. I did like that. You kind of get to see the real, like the bright. Since it was bright, you got to see the whole color scheme of his costume, and I was liking it. You saw Lois there wearing purple. I was like, typical. Saw Perry White. They showed Miss Tessmacher and things like that. So, and like I said, Mr. Terrific was great to see in his costume and everything. Like, in full costume. It's beautiful. Why did Charles Davis shut the Predator mind when he attacked? Because Professor Xavier wasn't there. He wasn't there. It was the other X-Men, Colossus, Psylocke, people like that. But still, I'm stupid because they beat the crap out of them. Yes, we are getting the Ultraman and the Avengers crossover. So Ultraman and the Avengers will be crossing over. That's going to be fun. Get some good crossovers. Yeah, they are doing and they also going to be doing a He-Man and Turtles crossover. Yes. Why did they make Spawn PG-13? I don't know. Care for it. Who should voice the DC EU Anti-Monitor? I don't know if they go there. The Anti-Monitor was only in one big story in DC. You want to take a guess what it is? And that's it. Comic Guy asks his favorite episodes of Doug, Rugrats, and Phineas and Ferb. How many I gotta give? All right, I don't know. I'll give at least 4 for each. Okay, so for Doug, one of my favorite episodes is Doug finds this hat, and it kind of brings him all this good luck, and that was a fun episode because I also like the music to it too. It was great. Number 2, Doug tries to join this competition, and he injures his hands and his arm, everything. But he becomes the champion in sit-ups. He was doing sit-ups. I love that. And then he met Arnold Weisenheimer. He was supposed to be a play of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so when he met him, he's like, it's good to meet you, Mr. Bandages. He was trying to talk like Arnold. So it's funny. Everybody's got an Arnold impersonation. Everybody does. So that's 2. Number 3, when Porkchop got his heart broken, he fell in love with a dog, and the female dog bumped him for a new dog. It was messed up, but it was funny. I was cracking up. Number 4, when Doug and Skeeter makes a comic book, that shit made me laugh. It was so funny. So as you all know, Doug, he has this superhero called Quail Man. Yeah, There's this character called Quailman, and Quailman has the powers of the quail. Now let that sink in, right? So Doug has this character called Quailman, and it's got the powers of the quail, bobbing, darting, and he has this move called the quail eye, where Doug's eyes get real big, and these beams come out of his eye, and he's like, "Yeah, the quail eye. Now you'll be helpless and stupefied." It's the funniest stuff. So he brought that, and Skeeter decided to bring in he created this character called the Silver Skeeter. So you know where he got it from Silver Surfer. And Silver Skeeter could do anything. He would just go back, and he was just like, it's like, Skeeter, your hero's too powerful. Over and over, like, it's like, he's too powerful. He can do everything. What's the point of it? And so he's like, yeah, what's the point of Quailman? All you can do is just the funniest shit. It cracked me up, but it made me laugh so hard because I'm like, I wonder if that's really how it's like in comics now. Like comic books, like people are like, man, he's too powerful. Like, you gotta calm him down. It's the funniest shit. That was hilarious. Made me a bunch of them, but those are like 4. What did you also? Rugrats. Rugrats is anything prior to Dill being born, I like. So the older episodes you'll have is when you see the title screen of the episode, it's red. If it's black, it's new episodes. That's how to tell the difference. But for Rugrats, there's a bunch. I have a bunch of them that's funny. It cracks me up. So we have one of probably the initial first episode where it was Tommy's first birthday, and they wanted to eat dog food. Wanted to eat dog food. Tommy came down. He's like, "Hey guys, I got something to tell you." What? He's like, "You eat dog food, you become a dog." And it was the funniest. And so they actually got it too. They actually got the dog where you see them eating Spike's dog food, and then they just go, and spit it out, and then they just start acting like dogs. This is the funniest shit. That cracked me up too. The trial where Angelica breaks her cousin. Now, yes, let's be real. Tommy's bully was his cousin. Let that sink. That's messed up. But yeah, Angelica breaks Tommy's clown light lamp, and she blames. And so Tommy and them, they do like a little trial, and Angelica just like, yeah, I broke your lamp, and I break it again. And you know what? You can't, because you babies can't talk. And so she starts jumping all around and the funniest stuff. The movie where Tommy goes to see his first movie, this is where he got infatuated with Reptar. Reptar was their version of Godzilla. It was the funniest stuff. And so you got, once again, somebody should call CPS on the pickles, because how many times they lose tickets, it's the funniest stuff. But yeah, Tommy and them try to go find Reptar at a movie theater. Is the funniest stuff. And another favorite of mine is the shot, where Tommy had to get a booster shot, and Angelica doing it again. No, not Angelica. Chucky, because Chucky's always scared of everything. He built this up like the doctor's gonna be. He comes in and he's all nice to you, and he's saying to you like, and all of a sudden he turns into he goes from being a nice doctor who smells funny to a crazy doctor, and Chucky's over-exaggerated imagination kick, and he got the shot, and he holds you down, you stick you in your arm, and so yeah, that's the funniest stuff. That's Chucky that was always Chucky. That one, he always over-exaggerated stuff, and it didn't turn out sometime like that. And Phineas and Ferb is a little tougher because those episodes are hard. One of them, I think I could say, is when Phineas and Ferb went to this lake find Nosy, their kind of Loch Ness monster, and she was like, she'd only come out, and if she saw people with cameras, she'd break them. She didn't want to be found. That was funny. There was an episode when Phineas. I know it was an episode where Evander Holyfield guest starred on the episode, and Phineas was fighting. I got the other character's name, and it was a thumb war. It was funny and stuff. Anything with Perry and Doofenshmirtz always makes me laugh. You know, Perry, the boss is the funniest shit. Yeah, it's harder with Phineas and Ferb because I don't know it by name, the episodes by name. One of the episodes is where Candace uses a time machine and goes back in time to the very first episode and makes sure Phineas and Ferb gets in trouble, and she's proud of it. And so, and this was her future self that did it. And it's like, and then what happens next, her future is all messed up because it was funny. It was stupid, but it was funny. RoboCop versus T-1000. T-1000. Have you ever seen the movie Gladiator? One of my favorite movies, Gladiator. I know they're doing a sequel. We're talking about, well, now wait a minute, because there are a couple of movies that are called Gladiator. We're talking about Russell Crowe Gladiator, right, Caroline? So if that's it, yes, I have. Which villain was the most petty other than Lex Luthor? In what, Superman? Live Wire, she kind of petty. I heard this voice, Bane, Danny Trejo. I didn't mind Danny Trejo's voicing Bane, and that was during, that was more voice. That was when he voiced Bane on Young Justice, but I didn't like that voice. I'm not saying that it wasn't bad, but when I think of Bane with like a Latin accent voice, it's more elegant and almost regal, like not Vato, you know. Sorry. Predators are strong but arrogant, yeah, and dumb too sometimes. As much as they just, it's just funny. Have you watched? You know about the Lord of the Rings animated movie? I heard. The one with Ralph Bakshi. Quentin asks, how do you rank the Marvel Superman to weakest to strongest? That would be definitely for like a video if I wanted to do that. But Blue Marvel would be definitely up at one of the strongest. So would be Hyperion and people like that. There were some things as a Predator fan I liked in Predator Wolverine, and some things I felt Percy could have done better than researching Predator for his story. He's a lot better writer than Ed Brisson for Predator. Much better. He understands it better. And in my opinion, the Predator that was chasing Wolverine was just arrogant and more like, let's be real. If you're a Yautja and you're facing a character like Wolverine that can heal from basically anything you throw at him, you would be off your game too. Like, once you get them off their game, yeah, let's be real. What the hell is with all these? I get dark. Let me see. Has Jimmy Olsen ever known Clark's identity? Not that I know of. I don't think so. Can Dr. Fate, Why do you keep bringing up Dr. Fate? Are you a fan of Dr. Fate, or are you just... And it's always Kent Nelson. You know, there have been other Dr. Fates, right? Uber Jack, I don't even know who that is. Could RoboCop work well in the Batman Beyond universe? For me, I think Atrocitus would win against Conqueror because he can spit out that red energy. It's not red energy, it's actually like blood. It's hot blood that he's spitting out. When you see them floughing at the mouth, that's blood. I think Hardy Boys should retire. I think so too. I think they've done enough where, I mean, I don't want to see Jeff wrestle anymore. I don't. I remember him for who he is. I don't. There's no need for him to wrestle. Look, they weren't going to go nowhere in AEW. I think they were at one point, but Jeff messed up again. Are you excited for the Conquest fight in the series? A little bit. I've already seen it. Don't need to. It's just animated. That's all. I hate when Disney got the rights to Duck. Fuck that. Those suck. Can Stitch figure out the Team Rocket is in the sky? I guess I'm excited for Marvel vs. Capcom is back. Yeah, they're bringing out a whole collection of for all the Marvel, the Capcom and Marvel games, and even bringing out the Punisher arcade game that Capcom put out. That was great. I love that game. That's where you play with Punisher and Nick Fury. And it's only coming out for PS4, Stream, and Wii. How excited are you to have Terry Bogard in Street Fighter 6? That's fucking amazing. I was like, what? Like, I saw that blew me away. I'm like, yo, Terry and Mai are gonna be guest characters in Street Fighter 6. That's crazy. And SNK had said they are all welcome to do some more with Capcom in the future. So, I mean, hey, we could probably get a SNK versus Capcom collection and maybe get a third one. It is sad we won't get a Ninja Turtles versus Predator crossover. Yeah. Brisbane is terrible for it. Yeah, I'm not. I thought I was gonna like where he went with his first run, and now it's weird. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. Usagi Ojimbo is Usagi is crossing over with the Power Rangers next. I'll talk about that. What was I? I am getting the stream release of I'll probably get it for PS4. Okay. Why do you hate the 2011 Thundercats? You got time? You got time for that? Don't. Ain't enough time in the world for me to talk about that crash. Psycho comments. Hey Chris. Hey Quentin. What's up? What does Marvel do? Why doesn't Marvel do collaborations with other publishers? Because they've got fat heads. They got fat heads. It's a dick measuring contest between the big two. They used to collaborate a lot with others, but now you go back to the 90s. There were so many Marvel collaborations. They were collaborating with every publication. You name it. DC, Image, all that stuff. They were doing all that. Valiant. You know, they had the Exo Man of War and Iron Man crossover. You had Witchblade crossover with Wolverine. And you had Spider-Man and Backlash and Spider-Man and Hulk and Pitts. Badrock. There was so many crossovers. And then of course when they did the Marvel vs. Capcom, they still were doing crossovers. There was the Superman Fantastic Four crossover. There was the Green Lantern Silver Surfer crossover. Like all that, they were doing all these crossovers. And then all of a sudden, and then of course I'll always say it, like you had people in both of those companies that hated each other, like to this day, like Dan Didio and Joe Quesada. Hey, both of them. Just glad they both left. But I would love to see. Sorry, I'm sorry, Evan. I apologize. Sorry about that. Sorry, Evan. I said, what did I say? Quentin? Yeah, sorry. Sorry. My apologies. Yes, you can, Evan, you can pimp your book. I don't mind. Go ahead. For everybody who wants to know that book that I'm reading, Murder City, the author and creator of that is in the chat right now. So he's there. What do you think of the Drew McIntyre CM Punk ongoing story? I think it's great. It's the build up is gonna, they keep building it up the way they're doing it now. I hope Punk does not come back next week. They should build that up. I said it like this: get the match at SummerSlam. That'd be the first match. And you do another match later, and you do a match that will end the feud. And what's that match? Oh, in the Cell. But yeah, I'm loving it. It's great. What was it? I hope DC brings back Green Lantern animated series and focus on Kyle. I know they're not going to do that, but I hope they bring it back. I love Kyle Rayner. That is my favorite Lantern. He gets dogged out by his own company. Kyle is kind of like Tim Drake in a sense. Great, but gets shitted on by his own publication. But I love Kyle. They are still doing that Green Lantern TV series, and it ain't got Kyle in it. It's still Hal and John, two of the most overexposed Green Lanterns. Yeah, I said it. I mean it. It's real. I hope they bring Pitt from Image Comics. I haven't seen Pitt in a while. I'm glad that they're bringing Witchblade back. She's coming out with a new comic again. I loved Witchblade. That's one of my favorite independent comics. Loved Witchblade. The original run. Love Sarah Pazzini. All of them. You know, the Darkness. All those characters. Great. Thank you. 5 days left to the Kickstarter. Yep, it's on Kickstarter. Yep. CM Punk versus Stone Cold would have been fun. That would have been fun if they could have done it. Face or heel, Drew McIntyre is awesome. Yeah, he's picked up his slack as of late. You know, in terms of him having more subject to deal with. You know, because he's gotten better on the mic. That was one thing about Drew. I was never really much behind him on that, because he wasn't always solid on the mic. Now he's gotten really solid on the mic. You know, so yeah, but he's been great. It's been great. Angel Garcia, hey Chris, I hope I'm not too late. You're not. I mean, I'm not gonna end it. It's not even 12 yet. So, but thoughts on the Bad Boys director wanting to direct Spider-Man 4? Do you think they would be able to handle it? I don't know. I mean, I love what they've done with the Bad Boy movies, and I haven't seen the last one yet. I definitely want to see it, but I don't think so. I'm not. No. Comic self-sabotage shelf. Is the wrestling scene in Spider-Man one of your favorite moments in Raimi's films? No. One of my favorite scenes in Raimi's run in the first Spider-Man movie is probably him fighting the Green Goblin in Times Square for the first time. That's one of my fun favorites, because it's like, yeah, that's the character I grew up with. Like, there it is. Yeah, you know, it looked a little weird when he's jumping from the balloons, and then he jumps, and pretty much him just goes slamming into the wall, and then he just getting out, and then it's a little weird from that. But outside of that, I did enjoy that very much. And of course, the thing about Raimi's run that I will never like is Goblin's costume. I hate that look. I hate that costume. I hate it, because we've seen that they actually had the real Goblin, and I'm like, oh, I can't. It looked too Power Rangerous, and I didn't like that. There are things that I about Sam Raimi run that I'm not a fan of. For me, someone asked me this a couple of days ago, like organic webbing or web shooters. I said web shooters. I'm old school. I've always, and then they were like, what organic webbing? I said, okay, you want to know the truth? I said, okay, let's that's coming out of his body, correct? Now, when they incorporated the organic webbing into the comics after the storyline The Others, they went deep into the pros and cons of organic webbing, and the cons outweigh the pros. One of them is it's all about how healthy Peter's body is. If he's sick and he shoots that organic web, it comes out all watery and soupy, like it's watered down. It's not even strong enough. There are times where, not saying that Peter has not been sick, but it's rare for Peter to get sick. But you can imagine that, like, and I'm just like, yeah, I get it. It makes sense. But I wasn't a big fan of that because it's like, that doesn't make sense, really. I get it where they were trying to come because, he's a spider, so yeah, I get it. Tobey Maguire didn't crack one joke. I will always hold that. It's the little things that about Spider-Man. Like, say what you want about Andrew Garfield. Well, I've said this before, but there are certain things about Andrew Garfield that Spider-Man that worked. It was the little things that made me like him. And being a New Yorker myself, hearing that Queens accent, boom, I was like, there you go. I was like, yeah, he's from Queens. Like, again, non-New Yorkers won't understand, but native New Yorkers will. And growing up in New York, I know that I can tell the difference. Somebody who's from the Bronx, somebody from Manhattan, somebody from Queens, somebody from Brooklyn, somebody from Shaolin or Staten Island. I can tell the difference. I know what they sound. There's certain dialects to it. Andrew Garfield did that. There was some things that I was like, yeah, there it is. Like, I'm like, okay. But, I will always give Tobey his credit. He is the foundation in terms of live action. Foundation, not overall, not overarching. There was always someone else could be better. It was. Um, I remember one comic in Green Lantern when Hal Jordan dated some. Well, now Carol's back as being a Star Sapphire, so yeah. How do you feel if they do a Tim Drake Kyle team up story? That'd be fun, but it's just there's an age difference. I don't know, just that'd be okay. Who is more overrated, Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart? Overrated? It's Hal. They're both overexposed. They're so overexposed. Who's more? Okay. I want a full-on Barbara and Corey team-up story. That would be funny. The two girls that love Dick Grayson. Sorry. And a Rogue and Kamala team-up story. Okay. Spider-Man 3 was totally horrible. Nothing made sense in that movie. Absolutely. The third movie, if you would ask me, if I was to rank Raimi's run, it's 2, 1, then 3. 3 was just terrible. Made no sense. What you did, like, they weren't even going to have Venom in that, but the studios forced Raimi to put Venom in it. And Topher Grace to me is no Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock, I look at Topher Grace as Eddie Brock, I'm like, you ain't got it, man. You need to hit the gym. People forget Eddie Brock is a big dude without the symbiote. He's always been a big dude. It's just like, yo. I didn't like the whole Sandman being the one that got Uncle. That made no sense. There was nobody knew that was just done for the movie, and I hated that. Even with the symbiote, they really didn't go real deep into it with Peter. Like, he acted just more hockey than, you started to see him really change. Like, really change. I know a lot of people say he looked emo and all that stuff, but, it's all right. The best thing I will say about Spider-Man 3, Bryce Dallas Howard as Gwen. She was near perfect as Gwen Stacy. I was like, I'm like, wow, she looked great as Gwen. She was doing what Mary Jane should have been doing, being a model and all that stuff. See how that works? It was weird. What Lantern Corps would Kratos join? Well, I think a Green Lantern would be up there because of his will. You can put him under a Red Lantern. And I think Indigo Tribe, where, it's about, redemption and all that stuff. Yeah, he could be there. But Hope, not really. Comic book character that got berries. That got buried. I don't. There's a bunch. Spider-Man 3 was not Batman and Robin level, but still not good. Oh God, Batman and Robin. How did Eddie Brock find out he had a son? I mean, because he had a son. He had a son. He knew he had a son. Like, he great that boy. Like, read the comics. That's short. Who can forget the train scene in Spider-Man 2? I can't. But however, once again, I'm watching that scene as a New Yorker, and I'm like, well, that's not a New York train line right there. I can say that right now. The train track that goes to nowhere. Yeah, no. Look, for every non-New Yorker, the subway system, that's what it's called, the subway system. there are no overpasses in Manhattan. Everything is underground. So you want to take the train, it's underground. Everything is underground. There's so many different subway tunnels in Manhattan alone. I think there's over 50. And some of them don't all run because they're old. Or 100 or something like that. When you get out of Manhattan, like you go into like the Bronx, then it's an overpass. But and Brooklyn and some parts of Queens. But Manhattan, I looked at that, I knew exactly. I was like, that's Chicago. I like that. Don't try to fool me. You know, don't fool me. But don't get me wrong. I love that scene. It's great, but it's just like, don't do that. I find it funny because I'm like, Peter, you're strong, but you're not that strong. Don't do that. It was like he wasn't thinking that. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why you go? You know, there's even parts of me which he didn't even take his mask off. I was like, dude, your mask, it just got a little singed. Whatever. Like, don't take your mask off. Peter would have never done that. He would have never taken his mask. Oh, his mask got a little burnt. Okay, I take it off. Nah, he would have been like, all right, that's it. Like, but the train track that goes nowhere, that part will always not be funny to me. I did like, the whole concept of him using his webbings to be an anchor to stop, but at the same time, would Peter have been injured more? To a degree, but I think he would have been able to stop it faster than they made it. His webbing is very strong, and so he could have easily webbed not just the buildings, he could have been webbing the tracks behind them there's some things about it. But I do like the whole concept of the people, when they see him, they're just like, he's just a kid, like no older than my son. And I'm like, yeah, people forget Peter's young. Well, he was young. I mean, he's young. So yeah, technically he's like early 30s or so. But still, and fun fact, the two boys that found his mask, those were actually Tobey Maguire's nephews. Fun fact right there. What's your opinion on Carol Ferris? She's cool. She's back now being a Star Sapphire now. She's okay. I hate Venom's design in 3. I think a lot of people do. Unpopular opinion. I like Spider-Man 3. It's not Archangel. I'm not gonna hurt you for that. So don't. I understand all the criticism it gets. I definitely agree with some of it, but I still found it fun, especially the bully Maguire. Yeah, like, I don't think, the thing I have with it, I don't think it needed the symbiote. That's one of my biggest problems. And that's Sony. They kept pushing Raimi to put that. I hated how it just fell out the sky. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, it looked like the sky hit it. Just, shot a deuce and then it just popped out. There was no real explanation for it. I was fine with Sandman. Sandman does not get enough credit as one of the Spider-Man rogues, but I just wish they didn't do the whole, Sandman's the one that killed Uncle Ben. No. I think The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the worst Spider-Man film than 3, but even that, I don't hate that one either. Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2 fell into too many subplots, too many characters. Did I hate Jamie Foxx's Electro? To a degree. I mean, this was at a time when I was really big on race-changing characters for no reason. I was like, why are they changing Max Dillon? And they always got to go with the right. Oh, he was he looks nerdy and stuff. So yeah, that's not even what Max. Max was just a cable guy. That's how he got his powers. He's on the cable. Like, you ever see those guys like whatever like platform, Comcast or whatever, they be fixing it. That's what he was doing. That's all he was. But nah. I hated the Rhino look in that. I did. And I hate the mechanized look. That was stupid. I hated that. I will say one scene that will always somewhat make me cry is the little boy, and he's standing up to the Rhino. Minus Paul Gandolfini's like him talking, because his Russian accent just was stereotyped. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you don't all talk like that. Like, Russians do not. I know for a fact because I have Russian neighbors in my neighborhood, and none of them third person talk like, Alexei scared you, boy? Like, yeah, it's scared that. But I liked it for a reason, because even as a kid, I've always put myself in that boy's shoes, and Spider-Man saying, thanks for looking out. Like, that was me. That was just me right there. Like, and so that always gets me. But yeah, and of course, we can't forget the live action version of Gwen's death. I don't care what anybody's. That legitimately, I screamed when I saw that, because I was like, what happened was scared. What worse about it was the fact that she just didn't snap her neck like in the comics, because Peter, when he blocked me, snapped her neck, so that's how she died. Here, there was symbol. I love that shot. She used the web, and the web looked like it's a hand coming at, trying to grab her. The symbolism in that was really good. And then, of course, you just heard her head just go splat. I was like, oh shit! And I was like, and so I got that. I was messed up. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not that good. I hated DeHaan as Green Goblin, Harry. Especially when he became, I'm like, what the? He looked like Peter Pan doing meth. Peter Pan was on meth. That's how he looked. It was the weirdest looking, he sees Gwen, so he looks at Spider-Man, and he looks, I'm saying, I'm like, what the? You know it was Peter. So Gwen's here. So all of a sudden you just know that. That made no sense to me. Fucking stupid. That's the stupidest shit. But no, I don't hate. I agree with a lot of you said, Angel. It's just so that shit was dumb to me. I'm like, what the fuck? Which of the Mirage TMNT could defeat and delete the Punisher? A couple of them. This fight is one, bro. So yeah. If I make a Green Lantern and a Power Rangers crossover, the main Green Lantern character would be Kyle and Jessica. I think you just say that. Yeah. Kratos versus Ghana. Ghana from Zelda. Who's Ghana? That's a country. You mean Gandalf? Is that what you mean? You mean Ganondorf? You talking about Ganondorf, right? Kratos would kill Ganondorf. Why they always choose Hal and John Stewart? Did not the first Green Lanterns? I get the popular, but I don't know why they always choose them. Like I said, in terms of Green Lanterns, of the Green Lantern Corps, yes, Hal's first. But when you say Green Lantern, for me, Alan Scott, that's the first Green Lantern. He's the OG. but his powers are not from Oa. It comes from the Star Heart. Jon Stewart got more popular because of the series. Prior to that, not that many people cared about Jon Stewart, but then once his popularity on Justice League is skyrocketed. Did you like Terminator Sarah Connor? Yes, I did. With Lena Headey? Yeah, I thought she was great. I like that. Did you hear about comic passing of? I did. I wasn't familiar with him, but my condolences to his family. That really sucks. Like I said, I just mentioned Roman Reigns' dad, Sika of the Wild Samoans, passed away. So yeah, I heard, I know of him, but I don't know him, like watched any of his vids. So I hope the Ultimate Heroes will not make Captain America racist again. I hope he doesn't, because I haven't read the first issue of Ultimates. But from what I hope not. I just hope not. Favorite Spider-Man suit worn by Tobey Maguire. Oh, excuse me. Young Mr. Holland. The original. From the first movie, and when he was in Civil War, I liked that book. That was nice. I didn't really care for the armor. The armor is too much. I was tired of that. But it's kind of funny that because Peter got all the tech stuff first, and now it's gone back to just kind of having this OG costume. So he went from having everything to losing, tumbling it a little bit. Could a turtle beat Kraven the Hunter in a fight? Together, maybe. Yes, probably together. They fight as one, yeah. But by themselves, I think Kraven would pick them off one by one. Because he would be looking for their weaknesses. Oh, one of them is very angry. I'll use his anger against him. There you go. Yeah, the Sandman killing Uncle Ben was unnecessary. Yeah, that was unnecessary. It didn't have to go there. That was just ridiculous to me. I was just like what is that? Like that makes sense. That was like, it just didn't make sense to me. I kind of missed the point that even though the criminal who killed Uncle Ben was a nobody, Peter took him for granted, and that was Peter's biggest mistake and regret. Exactly. That's the whole point of why he became Spider-Man in general. It's when like we look at Spider-Man and we look at Batman, two iconic characters that are so similar to some degree. Yes, one comes from money, the other is working class, but at the end of the day, what are similarities to them? Acts of violence that kind of created them. Peter got his powers when he was young, and in the beginning, what was he doing? He was trying to make money. Like anybody, I don't care what country you're from, I don't care if you're from America, South America, Europe, Canada, doesn't matter. You got superpowers like that, you're going to try to benefit off by making money. That's what Peter tried to do. And it was that random act, that one random act. What did all Peter had to do was to stop the burglar. All he had to do was, put his foot out, do something. But he didn't. And why? Why was that? Because all Peter's life, he was laughed at, bullied, teased for not being different, just being himself, being smart. So he was tired of it. So that's the one thing. When Peter puts that mask on, he can get rid of that shyness. It's kind of like the Kill Bill monologue where Bill talks about, Superman and Spider-Man and Batman. Like, it's a mask. But Superman, Clark Kent is Superman's mask, in a sense. To agree. But with Batman was the same thing. A random act of violence. But with Batman, they actually gave the robber an actual name, Joe Chill. And years later, Batman did track down Joe Chill, but he didn't kill him. He didn't kill him. He could have, but he didn't. With Spider-Man, they've never given the burglar any name. But it's the whole act, that random act of, like you said, all he had to do was stop him. And what happened? His uncle was killed. And the messed up part about it is when Peter realizes that same guy. Yeah, that's messed up, and he learned that valuable lesson of great power must come great responsibility, which you can use in your everyday life because it actually makes sense. Which assassin in DC has the biggest body count? I don't know. Some would say Deathstroke, but I think Lady Shiva's done more. Here's a cute story. Last year on Halloween, I cosplayed as Spider-Man at my school. And a lot of the young kids were cheering at me, and one of them thought I was the real deal. Trust me, I know that feeling very well. Cosplayed as Spider-Man many times at conventions. The first time I did it was I played Spider-Man at New York Comic Con 2019. I think that was, because that was the last one I went to. And I cosplayed as Spider-Man. And I can't tell you the amount of little kids came up to me, grabbed my leg, and said, "Bye, Spider-Man." And, "Oh, Mom, you look Spider-Man." And I'm in character. I'm like, okay, that made that, because that's me. It was like, I'm that kid. I'm them little kids, and I see that. There's one girl, she's like, "Can I take a picture?" And I like, sure. And I got down and with her and stuff like that. This one kid, he was like, he asked me, he's like, what did you do? Like when you fight Doc Ock? Like, I'm like, yeah. I was like, okay, I gotta make up some story. Like, what did I do to him? Did you kill him? I'm like, no, I didn't kill him. Stuff like that. I'm like, so I know what you're going through. I know that it's the greatest feeling in the world to be recognized as, nobody knows that underneath it. They could have easily, and if I took my mask off and they were like, "Well, you're not Spider-Man," like, no, but he then asked me if I was all right because he didn't want me to turn to dust again. See? Yeah, he was traumatized. That hurt. It made me tear up a little bit. I can get it. Stacy is probably my favorite character in Phineas and Ferb. That's Kelly Hu's character. Kelly Hu, Stacy is fine because she's always trying to tell Candace, like, stop going after your brothers, like stuff like that. And she has a little sister. The Fireside Girls, one of the Fireside Girls is her little sister, so it's funny. Yeah, I said, yeah, she voiced by Kelly Hu. I love Kelly Hu. Got a crush on her, still do. If they get Kyle Rayner in the DC movie, I hope they find a Hispanic actor. Yeah, they would need somebody who can represent being mixed, because Kyle is mixed. He's Hispanic and Irish. So, yeah. It also depends on which version of Turtles we're talking about going against. Yeah, like I said, going up against him. Mirage, IDW, and Raj would beat him. Raj especially, since they got anime speed and physique, yeah. What if Deathstroke attacked the Turtles? I think they could beat him. Again, Turtles fight together. They don't always fight. Their motto is they train together, they fight together, they train, they fight together. What, I just said that twice. Everything is together as one. And then you got Master Splinter. So you think Deathstroke don't want no problem with Splinter. Tell me about being a best man. Tell me about being a best man in a wedding. I'm being ready for days because my friend, when she gets married to her girlfriend. Oh, so you're gonna be a best man? That's fine. I hope to do a Nightwing and Turtles crossover. Okay. All right. Comic Guy asks me, favorite Daredevil villain outside of Bullseye? Mr. Fear is up there. And Yowl. So yeah. Angel, did you hear about the upcoming Legend of Zelda game in which Zelda gets to be a playable? Yeah, I did. That's great. That's great. See, I will never dog Zelda. You know why? Because she can handle her. Yeah. No, she ain't no damsel in distress. I talked about Angel. I talked about Metroid 4 already. I hope the Turtles crossover with Marvel one day. I hope so too. I would love to see them crossover with Marvel. There's so many they could do. But yes. Yes indeed. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap this up, guys, and I'm gonna answer Warhawk's last question, and we're gonna wrap this up. Did you ever play the Punisher game in 2005? Yes, I did. I just loved interrogating people. It's fun stuff. I'm excited for the new Monkey King game. I cannot wait till that game comes out as well. But guys, I want to thank everybody for coming through. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties that happened before. But anyway, like I said, guys, thank you for joining me. I'll be back next month. We'll do this again. Don't forget, if you want to read Murder City, check it out. Go to the Kickstarter from Cyclone Comics and go ahead. It's got 5 more days to check it out. Not forcing you, but just saying. But outside of that, guys, you guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. I'll be going to a baby shower this Saturday. My cousin, he is having a baby. He and his girlfriend, he's having another girl. And, so I'll be looking forward to that. But outside of that, there'll be some stuff coming up. I'm going to be putting up some more stuff. But outside of that, you guys take care, and I will see you guys. As always, same time, same channel, all around. My pack. Your alpha, bitch, you, I do.